What is up, YouTube? My name is Adam and this is Broke Man Finance. The market this week has seen better days. We've had some dips, we've had some bounce backs, just to see more dips, and in true 2020 fashion, who the hell knows what's next? But I will tell you what I do know is next, and that is that Virgin Galactic is entering their final stages of finally going commercial and sending people to space. Credit Suisse has reinstated its outperform rating of Virgin Galactic stock on Wednesday, telling investors not to be on the sidelines as the space tourism company enters the final stage of development testing. With the flight schedule visibility improving and with scarce public investment opportunities in space, we see a healthy demand environment for shares during this catalyst period. Credit Suisse analyst Robert Spingarn said in a note. CNBC reported that Virgin Galactic's next flight test is planned for October 22nd. Shares this past week are up 6%, and today on Thursday they closed out at $17.50 per share. This past March, before the Roni came through, this stock was trading at approximately $42 per share. Now, with final testing taking place and these final stages getting approved, investors have an opportunity to buy this company, buy this stock at a pretty modest price at around 17 bucks per share. And you also have the opportunity to give us a hand and smash that like button and make sure to subscribe. It does nothing but help the channel continue to grow. Depending on the final testing phase, if this thing actually pans out and they start putting people, really rich people, into space, then the share price for this company could explode. But they need to get through those final testing phases first. But the fact that they're even entering these final phases is an accomplishment. Ticker symbol SPACE, or SPCE, was founded in 2004 by bagazillionaire Richard Branson, also the founder of British venture capital conglomerate Virgin Group. In 2019, SPACE, SPCE, went public through a special purpose acquisition company, or SPAC, very similar to the way these EV companies that we've been following and bringing you news on are going public as well. For those of you that's not very familiar with Virgin Galactic and what they're doing and what their plan is to actually put people into space, let me try to break it down and explain how they're going to do that. Customers first undergo a 3-day training and preparation at Spaceport America, the company's airport. On flight day, future astronauts will board Spaceship 2, which is attached to the carrier aircraft White Knight 2, after ascending to an altitude of 50,000 feet. Spaceship 2 will be released into a free fall. Within seconds, its hybrid rocket motor will blast the spaceship into space, where the crew will be able to experience microgravity and a spectacular view of Earth. After a brief moment, the pilot will configure the spaceship for re-entry into Earth using its wing feathering feature. The spaceship will then glide back to Spaceport America, where customers first began their mission. Virgin Galactic has been moving and grooving since 2004, and you have to imagine there have been a lot of tests to have went down since that time. That is 16 years for those of you that don't math. As of the second quarter, Virgin Galactic, they have completed 27 out of 29 elements required by the FAA. That means they are only 2 away from actually being able to put people, or you yourself, if you got that kind of dinero, to go to space to check it out. Over 16 years in the making, and it could finally be a go very, very soon. As an investor, that makes me really excited at the prospect of this thing finally getting off the ground, no pun intended, but finally actually seeing some real revenue. Now, Virgin has, with their famous founder, old Richard, Big Money Bucks Richard, they have other means of revenue, but for Virgin Galactic specifically, they've been burning through 200 mil per year. This could be a great time to jump on the stock because at $17.50, that's a pretty good price point. That's a really good entry point for something with this much potential. It does have a lot of risk, It just depends on what your level of risk is. But again, I'm no financial advisor. I'm just a weirdo on YouTube. Here are the projected numbers from their investor presentation. Now, I know these are just projected numbers, but this is what they're anticipating. It looks like they're going to try to add one vehicle per year, which obviously is going to increase the amount of flights they can take, which is going to be able to increase the total number of passengers flown. So that all leads to more and more revenue. Now, if you're not used to looking at different balance sheets, and if you're not a nerd like me and enjoy looking at financial summaries, these numbers here underneath the at the ticketed revenue and other revenue, those are going to be in the millions. That does not mean 21,000 or $21. That means 21 million is what they're looking at in ticketed revenue. Actually, people being flown in their spaceships, in their vehicles, right? And then increasing to 195 next year, 376 million the next year, 562 million by 2023. That is their expected revenue by 2023 if everything goes to plan and they are able to add a vehicle each year. 431 million in gross profit is what they're expecting by 2023, a margin of 73.1%. Not bad. When I first started hearing about this, the first thing I thought of, which is probably the first thing you thought of or maybe thinking now, is how much is this going to cost? So based on those projection numbers, we're looking at $300K or $300,000 per person to jump on this thing and hitch a ride to space. Let's take a look at Analyst Riyadh Sofian's numbers based off those projections. I'm not going to bore you to death with the numbers, but I want to show you the kind of potential a lot of people are expecting this company to have, revenue-wise. Okay, so here's the revenue projection by the analyst, and you can see that based off the projected number of vehicles, that's going to increase the number of flights, just like we were looking at a minute ago. But what I really want you to take a look at is that bottom line. I want you to look at that bottom line from 2021 to 2029. Okay, you're going to go 2022 879%. Well, that's because they're not really making anything right now. But then the next year, 49%, 62%, 33%, 26%, 23%, 21%, 19%. That is a lot of potential for more and more revenue growth if the analyst is anywhere close. Those numbers could be better. They could also be much worse. But as with any spec stock, that's the risk you take. This whole space exploration thing, not just for Virgin Galactic, but the whole thing is speculative. However, if it can work, the moat for these guys can be pretty big because SpaceX and some other ones, they're not in the same position yet. So the potential upside for Virgin Galactic could be massive. If it doesn't work, well, the downside could also be massive. Again, it's a spec stock. It's about risk. Risk and reward. The bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. But also the bigger the risk, the more chances and potential there are for losses. But the cost sounds massive to someone like me. I'm a normal guy. This YouTube channel is a small channel. We're not making any money yet. We just enjoy making videos and trying to bring you guys some value and some insight on stocks. But to someone with some money to burn that just wants to be bougie as hell, they can fly up to space, take a pic with Earth in the background for the gram, and all is good. And if that's your thing, hey man, go nuts, ball out. No judgment over here. For some, like UBS, who initiated coverage of Virgin Galactic on Monday with a buy rating, and analysts there predict the stock will climb more than 50% over the next year as space tourism eventually becomes an $800 billion industry by 2030. So the analyst predictions earlier could have been fairly accurate if it works out the way people are predicting. UBS even gave a price target of $25. However, as with good news, there are always haters. Laura F., founder of space consulting firm Astrolytical, criticized UBS's outlook as too optimistic. Virgin Galactic will not be flying 1,500 passengers by 2024, she wrote on Twitter. The market is still very young and the pace is slower than snails. But when you're getting ready to put people into space or trying to, how fast can that pace really be? it does seem like something that you probably need to take your time and really get nailed down. With all that being said, let me know what you think in the comments. Are we going to space or are we not going to space? Is this spec buy just too risky for you? Do you think there's too much upside to not invest in this stock? I'd love to hear what you got to say in the comments. I hope you liked the video. I hope even more that you subscribed. And as always, stay safe out there and take care.